Welcome back to Harrowings on the Passing Show, live with Hal Gill, your host. We're taking in the Virginia Linen Service. A couple of the vehicles passing by a troop of National Guard at the top of the north entrance to DuPont Circle Metro. They're probably getting their orders for the day. There's a lot going on here in Washington, D.C. I've noticed that they're having some planning sessions, apparently, for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix coming in August to the streets of D.C. IndyCar race. We're outside of the Hungarian American Relations 1776 2026 commemoration, outside of the Hungarian American Institution building. Founding father of American cavalry being remembered there. His birth in Kargach, Hungary, and death in Charleston, South Carolina, 1724 to 79. Apparently, he was instrumental in getting our horsemen up and running. Looks like I can go across here and wait in the shade to go on down 20th Street, which is my original destination. I have to go back up 17th Street actually later to a hardware store and pick up a plunger. Doesn't look like I can easily get through here, so I'm going to wait under the shade. Consider the contributions that Hungarians have made to the United States of America and to me personally as well. I'm very fortunate in my connections, including my dear wife, who is partially of Hungarian extraction, as well as Ukrainian, Slovak, Serb, and Polish in her heritage. Prior to being born in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, September 20th of 1967, I'm very lucky that she is in my life. And we have housekeepers in today, looking after our place. Left foot in front of right foot, dawn to dusk. That's the nature of things here. So that'll give me an opportunity to do some walking and training out here in the shade of the trees where the bus picked us up for our 10th wedding anniversary trip, if I remember correctly. Took a bolt bus from here to New York City when her own mother was about 87, I guess, or thereabouts. 88, I forget. Probably just over 88. Soon to move into a senior living facility where she would live until almost her 92nd birthday. She was 2 weeks shy. Evelyn Bush is on my mind today. Evelyn Burdick Bush, 1930, 2022. March to March. She passed away, I believe, on March 4th, 2 days after John C. Moon died. Also 92. Spins around the sun for him. Youngest drum major in the history of the Scots Guards. Music master of the fife and drum that I joined in 74. We talk a lot about that here on the Passing Show. It's another squad of National Guardsmen heading down New Hampshire Avenue to run them on down towards George Washington University. I've got to walk. Yeah, other people like explore DC with like friends and friends. So, like I hung out with my mom and like good stuff with you, like I need to list other people. Right. So like those are fun. It's really good for I got get across here, so do it. Charging forward. We'll take 19th Street. I'm just traveling on a whim here. Look to where the sun is. That's intense. Go past the south entrance of the DuPont Circle metro station. So the passing show is just bringing you a little bit of who, what, when, and where here in Washington, D.C. A little primary documentation for historians of the future, potentially. Good to have a number of you with us, Mid Africa, Amy, Julie, and Watkins again. Kit Branford is here. Good to see you, Kit. And Campbell, Freedom Beacon blog is also joined. Freedom Beacon blog. We are all expressing our freedom of the press through these means here in Substack land and transmitting on many different frequencies. A lot of this is going to go out on different platforms automatically once Substack has a chance to process it. And the call of the crow. Very fond of our Corvid friends who accompany us in the urban environment. All of the species that cohabitate with us here, especially as I start to smell something like burned rubber. Very pleasant smell, kind of acrid, chemical, coming from somewhere nearby. History, probably coming from this construction going on. Looks like they have some apparatus out there contributing to the smell. You can pick up lobster rolls there. Mason's famous lobster rolls. And where else? We're at 19th and N, Northwest. Engineering Consultants Incorporated, DMY, on site. Seems like they're doing some marking of the streets, which have been resurfaced recently. That's a stop sign. I think he was going to obey that stop sign. Coming up on the Palm Restaurant. Bubble tea. I think there may have been a bar called Teddy's along here at one point. I had understood, possibly without any meaning to, or without being accurate about it. There was a young man who worked at Teddy's, passed away July 4th, 2014. There it is. Teddy. Restaurant there. He might have actually worked there for all I know. John from smoking, so I'm trying to get past. Smell that. He's getting a good dose of his secondhand smoke, which is kind of nauseating. Not that much. Teddy and the Bully Bar. Braden lived down here somewhere. When he fell and hit his head on the way down, bled out. Think about that a fair amount. Whenever a certain other individual crosses my path who had the temerity to have something to say about what I had to say about that tragedy. I hadn't understood what I said, I don't believe. Found it very repellent I asked him if he knew the young man in question, I recall, and he did not. And I said, I've never really liked you, but do me a favor. I'll ignore your existence if you return the favor. Apparently, he thought there was a statute of limitations on that. There really isn't. Really isn't. I'm willing to cover myself. A smoking friend is caught up with me, polluting the atmosphere as he is. Ugh, still downwind from it. Gross. Looking for my opportunity to get across here and getting out of range of the smoke. That's the way it goes. Everybody is making an impact on everybody else. That's part of the purpose of me continuing to share my perspectives with all of you on the passing show. All influence is immoral as it prevents the other person from being fully who they are. Yet we all do influence one another. And if you can insulate yourself from the influence of others, well, do. Try to be original. My thoughts are not original to me, but they basically follow from observation. If you're observant, awake, and aware, that every impact, every choice we make puts our feet where we are. And you can see the effects of the passage from dawn to dusk all around you. And on it goes. This gentleman was gently beeping his horn to let us know he was coming out of the garage. I waved at him as I crossed. Not sure I was being a jerk about it, but it was friendly, intended. Looks like he's pulled over up there. We're getting ready to turn. I hope we all make it. The atmosphere feels a little bit poisonous now after I got a fair dose of the secondhand smoke of that chap. And some of the road smell I was picking up along the way. So, maybe looking for a means to rectify that. These nice little water gardens along the way, capturing rainwater. Little artworks to decorate them as well. Break up the sound a little. Walked this route to work many a day in 2018. The time I was picked up, you know, fall of 2017 through the summer of 2018. I left it all behind as I realized we would not be getting another renewal of our contract in September 30th, and I needed to find a place to land. I landed pretty firmly in Coast Guard, where I stayed until I left of my own accord, 2020, for TSA, where I stayed until 2024. So that's been my trajectory in the federal contracting space since 2017 when I was working on the integrated award environment governance. SAM.gov, the system for award management for the General Services Administration. A lot of you who get federal contracts go through there. Urban Rain Garden. Golden Triangle Arts, Spoon Sham, dozens pearlets, sculptures, wood blocks. We'll soon be moving by some of the office buildings. Many offices are vacant now. See retail for lease over here as well. Real estate in DC is taking a hit after the pandemic. Proved to us that people didn't need to necessarily be in office buildings to do their work. So many began working remotely. So many more. Perhaps that was by design. Everything's by design if you look at it from the right angle. DNA in action. Primate behavior on display. Taking out some direct sunlight. Emergency medical services always in motion. 8. Some position here. Holly 24 Virginia license plate just ran a red light. For what it's worth, nothing much. Sure, Holly 24 will skate unless there was a camera on him or her. Nice number though. I like the number 24. I like the name Holly. A lot of Hollies in my life. In fact, one of them I was thinking about is probably on the air on KSKQ radio right now. KSKQ.org. Help keep her in business. I hope. I haven't tuned into Holly in a little while, but I bet she's still holding forth on the radio Mondays and Fridays. The morning show. I've been on it. And the electrons that recorded me are somewhere out on the archive.org servers. Happy about that. Casa Teresa. Here. Oh, they got such air conditioning. Feel their AC right out here on the street. Powerful. That's got to be making an impact on the climate. And see the uniform companies. And what do we have for power? 40 something. So we have gotten a little bit of the passing shows filmed and some of my commentary. I think we're going to wrap it up about here, though, because I'm going to run out of power before too long. The streets are so clean. Yes, they are pretty clean here. We do what we can not to scuzz them up. And oh, oh, that was dramatic. 1, 2, 3. Got up. Yeah. Yeah, just went flat out. Did you see that? Yeah, I'm fine. I've got a talent for this comedy. Huh? Yeah, I think I'm okay. Even the phone survived. That's a miracle. You just witnessed a miracle. Yeah, I'm all right, which is quite astonishing considering. I'm good. I bounced. That was pretty. What's that? No, I'm saying that you should just hold your good. I am, which is quite astonishing. I didn't even break my phone. Yeah, so anyway, you all got to look at me taking a tumble. It's just as I was thinking about cutting off transmissions here. Yeah, as I was talking about how clean the streets are, I nearly put myself into it. I got my elbow a little bit. It was quite a dramatic fall. Didn't break my watch either. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking. That was a little bit of a stumble. I sort of lost my step and then stumbled and then went down. When I realized I could not fully recover. A few muscles have been pulled in different directions. But wow, that was impressive. Mm, Can't really see in this mirrored window how badly I might have done myself, but I bounced. And a few people noticed. That was nice. Nice of them to notice. Nice of them to care. And so we catch that on the passing show, and on we go. I'm going to continue filming down past some of the institutions that make up our neighborhood, not far off. And as I say, I used to pass these every day. All these institutions. Whew. International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. There's IMF. There's the World Bank. It's worth doing our history and knowing something about what the world is doing in itself. Had my physical comedy intact, that's for sure. I was very lucky. Paying attention to where our feet are. I used to film the passing show via Facebook Live through here all the time. Always taking in a little bit of who, what, when, and where as I move from dawn to dusk and back again. From cradle to grave, ultimately. And there it goes. More evidence of the temporary nature of our lives. Rasya Imam Dasram says yes. Roger Scott joined. It's nice seeing my face. Oh, thank you. I don't think my face is that interesting. That's why I do this passing show stuff. I think other people are much more interesting than I am. I'm fascinated by their existences. Knowledge for Development, OKR, Open Knowledge Repositories, World Bank. What else can I tell you about? Got 30 something percent power left, 39, I think. So we're not going to have much more film to go. I may take you past General Services Administration building. I was coming and going a lot during their centennial year of that august institution. Sometimes I would walk down to the monument to the signers of the Declaration of Independence, which is probably where I'll pick up the passing show from here. Bookstore over there, Writer's Books, highly recommended. Over here, an Uncommon Cafe still going, serving public servants. Sometimes me. Here's the Office of Authentication. It's public interest entrance where you can get the passports. U.S. Washington Passport Agency. So think about getting one of those. I could leave the country. At present, I'd be hard pressed because I don't have a passport. If you do want to come visit Washington, D.C. and connect to an actual substacker, I invite you to do so. I'll try to stay on my feet and stay in the bonus round here of Beat the Reaper. So, Wilma Express Coffee and Bakery. New place, to my mind. I'm so glad to be out of that arena. Here we are at 1800 F Street Northwest. That is the GSA's building. GSA headquarters. I was in there for many a year. Well, many a month. 2017 to 2018, from fall, Octoberish, to I believe August. Maybe in late July, I might have bailed out. So good to have you with us. Thanks for being a part of this. And what you're laughing out loud at, Razga, Imam Dazram, but whatever it is,